Hello guys, and welcome back to Total War Rome 2 with our next PvP battle. As you see, we have Macedon sitting here being played by Demolocus. He is teaming up today with Death Ninja, who is playing as the Swaby, I believe. And on the other side, in the defenders in this siege, we have Dr. Dave playing as the Iceni, and me playing as Macecily, these desert Rome, basically. If we take a look, we've split the city half and half between us. Let's take a look at what we're fighting on the attacking side. So, Swaby over here has gone really heavy on this idea of scaling the walls. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 towers and 2 ladders. No rams, but they do have 3 galleys sitting behind for, I guess, escorting their berserkers, it looks like. To the walls, yes, there's a berserker in each. In these, it's a mixture of unit in these between bloodsworn swordmasters and hexbearers. There's another one too, right? Yeah, round shield swordsman. No uniform setup for the walls, it seems, nor even for the ladders or the towers. He's got some spear levies behind. More bloodsworn and berserkers, hexbearers. He's just got a mixture of units here. There's no uniformity to it. And finally, his noble rider general, which means unless it's hidden, he doesn't have any actual cavalry aside for his general, meaning he's putting everything into this idea of scaling the walls against me. Nothing into actually going for the gate. That's going to make it very hard to actually defend these walls. But it means I don't have to worry about the gate, and I don't have to worry about much in the way of skirmishers either. If we take another look, he doesn't have any skirmishers of any kind. Not a single archer or slinger to be seen, unless they're hiding in the shrubs here. This is an army vacant of skirmishers or even siege artillery. So that's a big risk to take. Let's take a look at what Dema's bringing. In the front, already we see 1, 2, 3 mercenary Cretan archers. He does have 3 pike units, I believe. He has a ram. No, that's a galley. 2 heavy galleys. 1, 2, 3 heavy siege towers, each with a thorax swordsman. Good choices. The galleys also have thorax swordsmen. I don't know why they're in the galleys. You don't really need to protect thorax swordsmen. Got a line here of hoplites and militia hoplites, some heavy spear infantry going at what the Greeks do best. Thorax swordsman in the rear, and his royal peltists as a general. Oh, interesting choice for a general, but I've seen more interesting than that. It also seems like an army that is lacking cavalry. He at least has skirmishers, no siege artillery. I almost feel like he didn't bring as much siege equipment as he could have, because he has a very infantry heavy army, yet there's only 5 pieces of siege equipment. Something feels like it's missing. Let's take a look at Dr. Dave over here. Now, Dr. Dave has pretty much implemented this doctrine of we're going to defend right here. We're putting everything into defending right here, because the defenders can see what the attackers are doing pre-deployment. So as you see, he put this scorpion up here just to kind of cover down here, although it only fires down to here? No, that can't be. I don't think I can see exactly. It might be more down here. It could even be this right here. But he put that up there. He's got some heroic nobles here ready to scale the walls if he needs to send them down the ramp. Some Breton slingers right here, which I remember got really glitched out before the match. They all stacked on top of this unit. It was really funny. Got some, we got some stone shards stopping the enemies from getting to the scorpions. Got some stakes in the way of the gate over here, and also over here, some more stone shards. Caltrops as well. Really fortifying this area where he put another Briton scorpion. He also put some brimstone pits here, which he plans on trying to use if Dema gets let in. I think, I may be wrong, but if I remember correctly, his plan was actually to fight for the gate to inflict casualties, but once Dema committed, I think his plan was to actually retreat from the gate and set these ablaze. I could be mistaken, but I believe that's what his plan was. If we take a look, he's got some Chosen Sword Band ready to go up each part of the gate. Really good melee infantry from the front. He's brought some Druidic Nobles as well to support them. And a Spear Band. That's an interesting choice for up here. I would have put them back here and another Swordsman up here. He's got some Chosen Sword Band, Druidic Nobles, Heroic Nobles, Chosen Sword Band, Spear Band, and 2 Briton Slingers. Another army... Oh, wait, no. Here we go. Heroic Riders, yes, and his general, which are Heroic Nobles. He even has over here at this gate some Briton Scout Riders. Okay, I see. So he has some cav. He's ready to use them. Looks like they're set up. This one's set up to go out and harass. This one's more on a defensive role. And he's really got his defense lined up right here, assuming that Dem is going to come through the gate and try to come this way. Now, if Dema goes this way, he's going up against not nearly as much, if anything. He has some stuff there, and he's prepared to defend it, and I'm over here prepared to defend my area, but this is a lot more open, which is kind of interesting that he went this route. He just doubled down on one area, and kind of just forgot the other one existed. If you take a look at the cap point, I have my Armored Numidian Rider General here. I have a Desert Cohort chilling out. These are my best melee infantry. They're not as good as, say, you know, Roman cohorts, but they're still really good. Another one behind a barricade here. I really fuck up with the barricades in this game. You're probably not going to show you because I'll be distracted elsewhere, but I end up having to run my cohorts places, and I just kind of run them right through the barricades, not realizing that that would completely destroy the barricades. I thought, you know, maybe they'd like go around or find another way around. No, they just run right through them. So I didn't realize that. I have another cohort here and behind a barricade. Armored Desert Cavalry chilling out in this street. Armored Desert Cavalry here in this street. Kind of leaving my defense over here light because I don't think I'll need it. Some Tribal Slingers. Really piss poor units here. Sitting in this morale point. I have... This might be another place where I fucked up, but I got some Numidian Noble Infantry. These are very heavy, very elite spearmen. I think my best spearmen? Maybe. I forget. Behind some stone beds and a barricade. Really good defensive position. And a similar setup right here. Because I am expecting, when I saw his army, I was expecting not to hold the walls. So I did set up these backwards positions. Another Numidian Noble Infantry. No real defenses for this one, but it is in a shield wall. I believe all of these are in shield. This one might not be in a shield wall, actually. But this one definitely is. Some of them just don't have the reach to cover the whole area in a shield wall. Desert Legionnaires. Wait, what's better, my Legionnaires or my cohort? Fuck, I don't remember. I'm going to say my cohort. Yeah, it's got to be my cohort. It's got to be my cohort. That's why I have the Legionnaires up front. Got another Armored Desert Cavalry over here for supporting purposes. I have Desert Legionnaires ready to come up here if I need to, or just ready to defend this choke point. Some Legionnaires ready to come up here if I need to. Legionnaires ready to come up here if I need to. And some Tribal Slingers here. This was less to defend from siege equipment because I can see that there is no way to get siege equipment to land here. But I knew that I would need it if he came after this point to help defend this side. Unlike Dave, I did not commit everything to one point. I kind of spread things out so I could be adaptable, but not nearly as strong in one place, which is why I reinforced the capture point on my side so heavily. Not on his, though. His, I just kind of left to him. But that's it. We're ready to start the battle, so let's hit play. We have a long battle here, 38 minutes and 20 seconds. I've already been talking for like 10 minutes almost. So, I'm going to run out of breath by the end of this. We got the Briton Scout Riders leaving, and it looks like he triggered his own spike traps, losing 4 of his units right at the get-go. He put spike traps out here, and this is a mistake he makes almost every battle, so I don't have much else to say about it other than that. I'm moving some Tribal Slingers around, I believe over here, just to hide them from the initial assault. Dema is moving up his siege towers. He's only brought 3, so it should be easy to choke point them, theoretically. Leaving the rest of his army in reserves for now. Death Ninja is moving up. Oh, man. All of his galleys, all 3, and 6 of his things he's using to scale the walls. A lot of light infantry. It's a weird mixture of infantry. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if there's a strategy behind it or not, but it seems like a weird mixture to send up onto a wall. He's even sending forward other undefended units. The spear lever. He's sending forward almost everything. He should be careful not to get them in range of the arrow towers, but the arrow towers are opening fire. The ladders are moving towards the gate. These guys are not very well defended. They have some shields, but they're not even wearing shirts, so they might take some losses here. He's going all in. He has no skirmishers, no siege arty, so he's committing to the wall, everything all at once. Usually a very bad idea because you can be choke pointed that way and really held up. But it could work. Depends how you go about it. Dema is left still. The rest of his army is reserves. He's not even sending up his galleys, and these are heavy galleys. They would take a while to move. Dave is just sitting in wait, preparing. I've only moved one unit so far. He is Death Ninja splitting up his offensive across both sides here, but putting 3 things into this one narrow area. That's really easy to choke point. I've already sent up these units here to defend it. I am sending up these units here to defend this, to choke point all 3 of these siege equipments right here so they can't get through. That's why you want to spread them out or just not commit so much at once. These guys have made it to the wall. Let's take a look at the units charging out here. My units look like they're being kind of retarded. I was trying to charge them at the enemy units coming off the siege equipment here, and they decided to try to run out of the gate to do it, which was really annoying. Oh, I set up stakes there. I forgot to point that out. My slingers are here, not opening fire yet. No, not opening fire yet. On the other side, his units are soon to reach the wall, but have not yet reached it. All 3 of his units, well, no, 2 of them. Another one is about to start to disembark onto the walls here. They have made contact with my defensive units. Not all of them actually got up onto the wall. The pathfinding was not treating me well. And I've been trying to deal with it this entire time, but to no avail. These guys got up just where I needed them to be, which is perfect. They're going up against some Bloodsworn, which is fine. Absolutely fine by me. Oh! That looked like some friendly fire. One of my guys got shot in the back by a tower. It happens. It happens. Got some nice fighting for the walls here. Oh, there's another one. These are all coming from the towers. Damn, look at that. 1 shot, 1 kill. Oh, now you can see my slingers have opened fire. They're opening fire into the side of this Bloodsworn unit, taking advantage of their vulnerable position. More Bloodsworn are... Oh, these are Round Shield Swordsmen, sorry. The actual Bloodsworn are landing now and joining the fight, but that just leaves more opportunity for me to launch with my slingers into their sides here, as you can see. Pretty nice shots, pretty easy to take advantage of. I've gotten more of my units up over here, which is good, to combat his Sword Masters. His Sword Masters, those must be pretty elite. I'm not 100% familiar with Swaby. I've charged these units onto the wall, and I've gone ahead to attack these units from this angle, because these units were over here. These Legionnaires committed to attacking the Bloodsworn coming out of this tower. This ladder's coming by, and I already have the Desert Legionnaires that were over here on the way. I'm moving these guys up, I believe, over here to take care of that choke point. My slingers already have opened fire. Yes, they've already opened fire into the sides and the backs of these Sword Masters, which is nice. Good to take advantage of. Otherwise, I'm just holding my ground, it looks like. Yep. Already over here, the Round Shield Swordsman group is routed. Now it's just down to these Bloodsworn, and we've taken some casualties, but we've dealt a lot more than we've taken so far. The galleys are just sitting out here, but everything otherwise is committed. Let's take a look at what's happening on Dave's side. So on Dave's side, the enemy units have landed. The Thorax Swordsmen are over here fighting his Chosen Sword Band. That's a really heavy and brutal matchup. These are really elite infantry going at it. Nice. Take a look over here. He has his Druidic Nobles slinging some stuff up onto the walls, taking some fire as well from the enemy archers who are shooting onto the walls from all this distance away. Look at that. Look at that. Not the best tactic, but it's going. It's going. Over here we have more fighting between, looks like, 2 different units of Iceni units. These arrows are hitting a mixture of his own units, a mixture of the Iceni units on the walls, and a mixture of the units behind the walls. In fact, it almost feels like they're aimed over here. But Dave is committing even more to the walls. To support his spear band here, he sent another chosen swords band up to fight this thorax swordsman. Ooh, look at that. That other guy was like bobbing and weaving inside of that duel. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Oh, that came so close. Who's gonna win? The Greeks or the Britons? Wow, this is a pretty intense duel. Oh, they just switched targets? Come on, jab him while he's distracted. Oh, they're back on each other. Oh. Wow. Jesus Christ, these guys literally can fight each other for days. Most of the only units I'm seeing dying over here are the spears, because they're not good infantry. They're not very good. The chosen sword and the thorax swordsman are really good matches. He is sending up some royal peltis. That's not his general. He's sending up some royal peltis over here, I guess, to assist in the throwing skirmishing fire, but most of them are just hitting a wall. This is a terrible angle to send peltis to. I guess he doesn't know that. He's got some thorax swordsmen coming around here up to this tower to commit even more to the wall. He's spending a lot of his ranged fire at the start here. Not a very good move. The gates over here are open? I don't know why. But these druidic nobles are already wavering. Or is it the chosen sword band? It's the chosen sword band. These guys are almost dead. They've been fighting for so long. They're getting overwhelmed. The druidic nobles are trying to rush up there to help them. Over here, he's won, and Dema is sending up more thorax swordsmen while holding most of his units off here to the side as a defense. Over here, the Briton scout riders have... this is actually what caused this, by the way. The Briton scout riders came along and kind of scared Dema into a defensive formation, and he's just staring at them, making sure they know their place. Checking back over here on my side, my Desert Legionnaires here are surrounded. They've gotten completely surrounded by people coming up the sides here. I'm not even sure how this happens. How do you get from here around here? Okay, not all of them are surrounded. Just there's like a couple of them. For the most part, most of the unit is still over here, but over half the unit has been lost. There's berserkers up on the walls, which means some bad news for us. Berserkers that are out of control. Our Desert Legionnaires are going to get slaughtered up here. Over here we got more Desert Legionnaires. These guys are more healthy up against Berserkers and Swordmasters. He really went ahead and got his Berserkers up on the wall to take care of my units. These guys have won their battle. No, they didn't even have a battle, so they're just chilling. These guys have won their battle, and they are waiting for the next set of Bloodsworn to come up and challenge them. This set of Bloodsworn is losing to this half-dead Desert Legionnaire group and being charged at by some Berserkers. These Hex Bearers are on the retreat, and these Berserkers are just freshly in here fighting these semi-fresh Desert Legionnaires being reinforced. Yeah, the rest of them are getting up here. But Berserkers versus Legionnaires of any kind, that's not really a matchup you want to have. The Berserkers are at least weak to, you know, like my Slingers in the back if I use them, but I believe at this point I've already gone through a decent amount of ammo, and I was trying to be more conservative with what ammo I had left. And these Berserkers just, look at them. They just keep going. This is how you get a unit behind enemy lines, by the way. Look at this! Oh my god, he's still going! They never stop. That's the thing when Berserkers get out of control. And he killed the unit and pushed this far behind our lines. Berserkers are terrifying, dude. Absolutely terrifying. But as you can see, most of Death Ninja's units are dead at this point. He's got just 2 left and a general that's uncommitted. His general being so far in the rear means he's not giving any morale bonuses up here to his units. But over here, he is having a good time. These Slingers have run out of ammo, so I've placed them here just to defend this location. There's no heavy units that they're up against anyway. Otherwise, like, yeah, this is looking really bad for me right here. These Legionnaires are dying more and more. But everywhere else on the wall, I pretty much defeated Death Ninja and I have him surrounded. What about these guys? They still have some ammo. It says they're firing, but it looks more like I'm conserving their ammo. Yeah, it looks like I'm conserving their ammo. I am moving these guys now over here. Yeah, I've realized I've won over here, and now I'm setting up a defensive location right here, just so he can't get anything coming down here if he inevitably wins over here. Everything else looks like it's doing fine. These guys are firing. Oh, they have had chances to fire. I guess they're firing onto the walls. Oh, no, they're firing... They're firing all the way out here into his hoplites. That's crazy. Who are not facing the right way to deal with it. He's sending more thorax swordsmen up to kind of double down on trying to take these walls in this manner. He's sent more of his skirmishers up, who have to be running out of ammo at this point, but they're still firing. Again, a really bad location to pick for firing. Where's his Peltis? Did he throw them up on the wall? Yes, he threw the Royal Peltis up on the wall, so I can only assume they ran out of their javelins or pylon, whatever they use. Dave is now skirmishing some more with these slingers. Really good opportunity to do so. He has so many guys here just that he could shoot right into the side of. Really good choice. The Spear Band are finally starting to rout, but the Chosen Sword Band are holding. Some of these skirmishers are actually shooting over. Oh, I think that's an accident. I think they're just missing. Dema, however, is so afraid of this one cavalry unit that he's actually set up heavy spear infantry and the pikes in a line to prevent the cavalry from getting in here. An amazing use of one cavalry, honestly. He's completely bogged down like a quarter of Dema's forces just to prevent this cavalry from doing anything. Such a weak cavalry, such a cheap cavalry that could have been countered with just a single cavalry unit from Macedon. But he didn't bring any cavalry, and now he has to dedicate 25% of his army just to keeping the cavalry off the rest of his army. Not that they could even do major damage to anyone other than the skirmishers. His own guys, his own generals sitting back. He has more Royal Peltis. I don't know if they have any ranged. Hopefully they do. I don't know why he would use them so quickly. Some Breton slingers are being put up to the gate. I think they ran out of ammo. And now he's struggling with pathfinding. But as you can see, the walls here are starting to look worse for the Iceni. Of course, Dave never intended on holding these walls. He never intended on holding them. He just intended on dealing casualties and holding up the advance. He's throwing away these units, essentially, to stop them from coming down here and just taking the gate. Because now he's lost this stairway. And it's actually getting flanked over here. That music sounded like it was right out of Lord of the Rings. I think. Yeah. But it's kind of inevitable that this is going to fall. Take a look over here now. The Berserkers are out of control, but there's only 2 left. Wow, the move up of some... Oh, here we go. Here's some skirmishers. Longbow hunters were hidden this entire time, and there's another one moving up. Sending some skirmishing power onto the walls. My nearly dead Desert Legionnaire unit is starting to break. It's wavering. But this other one... Oh, they just routed. They just routed, but the Berserkers over here are done for. There's nothing these longbow hunters can do to claim this area right here. The Bloodsworn right here are almost killed, but they're about even with my Desert Legionnaires over here. Just, how can I say? They're a bit more confident, and they're more fresh. So these tribal slingers who are definitely out of ammo are guarding this area. Oh, these guys are just charging over here because I know I need to get them over there. Taking the fire from here doesn't mean much. Over here, the situation's very different. Very, very different. It looks like we've lost the slingers over here. They tried holding the ground, but it looks like they just got slaughtered. Hopefully they dealt some damage. Moving these Desert Legionnaires over here to hold this tower so it doesn't turn against us, which it temporarily did right there. These guys are actually throwing some javelins down here at my units. I'm starting to charge these guys back up onto the walls to resume this front. 2 Desert Legionnaires group, 1 almost dead and 1 full, fighting the Bloodsworn over here. Pretty good advantage. We've held this gate, but he has gotten 1 unit of Berserkers over here to this gate, which he is capturing. As a result, I've actually moved my Numidian Noble Spears away from this defensive position and away from over here so that we're not in range of the tower. I've put these units right here to block this off. I believe they're in a spear wall. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. just waiting. Because this tower can't really hurt me too much. A couple arrows into the backs of these units for a moment. Once this is captured, though, I plan on charging in and they'll be out of range. I just didn't want to commit more to here when I didn't need to. And I didn't want to take constant firepower on troops that I want to be fresh. Here's a third longbow hunter. He saved all of these for now. He needed at least some of these up in the front during his initial assault, because as a result now, he's lost so much. He's lost most of his force, and there's nothing he can do about it. Those longbow hunters aren't going to make much of a difference. As you can see, his Bloodsworn here aren't going to do much, and his Berserkers coming in from this side, while they can engage, and they did take a tower, I took my tower back. They're not going to last, especially with the assistance of some arrows and their own arrows firing into their backs. These Berserkers are in a very compromised situation. Whoa, look at that rubber banding. That's a fun Rome 2 bug. But as it stands, I have managed to hold on to this for the time being, although I don't have as many units in the air, especially not as many swordsmen, like legionnaires, over here ready to hold it further. These units are here just guarding the area, resting. They're very tired. Over here, the fight is all but done. You know, I've taken my mostly dead and tired units and used them to block off any choke points just in case. These slingers are fresh, but of course they're out of ammo, so they're not very useful. They're still here guarding just in case because there's all this siege equipment up here. All of his archers are committing over here and focusing on trying to take this area. And as it stands, it's a good move. They're firing into the flank of these Desert Legionnaires, which is no good. While they're fighting Berserkers and getting shot up at one of my towers, he's committed now most of the remnants of his army to trying to defeat me here, and which he just has. These units are routing. They're surrounded. They're being shot at. He just put his final melee unit up on the walls over here. He's putting everything he can into securing this area. I wonder what good it will do for him. Let's see. We still hold on to the gates, luckily, with a basically untouched Desert Legionnaire unit and an almost dead one defending this choke point. So that's good at least. Some units are routing through the gate. Looks like I'm sending both of these units here. Yeah, I knew I didn't need a choke point here anymore, so I'm taking both of these nearly dead units and choke pointing here instead. Let's see what else we can get here. Over here on this side, not much has changed. He's running around with his riders, trying to harass Dema's lines now that they're more spread about, because it looks like Dema tried to move his spearmen, so the moment he did, Dave's tried taking advantage of it. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, I was going to say you don't have room. The spearmen are trying to make life difficult for the riders here, who are very tired, by the way. But still, he has a quarter of his army dedicated to just stopping this guy. He is trying. You can see he's trying to get some of his hoplites in there, maybe even some of his pikes into the battle. He's sending his Royal Peltis up the walls. His general is going up the walls. These Royal Peltis, who are stationed back here, I recall, yeah, are up on the walls and sending their pelts. They're pelting down the walls towards this stuff over here. This unit is being destroyed by skirmishing fire from the second line of defense on Dave's side, and they're routing. He is finally getting some Chosen Swordband up here, which I actually had to tell him to do, to try to clog this up some more, especially now that he got all this fire going on here. Unfortunately, the Peltis are more armored, but over here, this unit of heroic nobles is still somehow alive. That's impressive. So the gate is not lost. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to set off any of his brimstone pits, and he was really fretting about that. All of his units here are gone. They've been committed to the fight or killed. This unit back here is still alive. I don't know if they have ammo left. If they did, I assume they'd be firing. I'm going to guess they're not. He hasn't chosen to move them. So now his entire defense is right here. This is all open. That's not very good. The stakes are not going to stop an army. But if we take a look over here, his Chosen Swordband are fresh and ready to go. It looks like we did miss something over here. We did miss some fighting here between some Macedon infantry and some of his Chosen Swords, and maybe even more. That they came through the stakes, they charged through all of this, and they fought, and Dave came out on top. So while not much has progressed, Dema did try an assault, and it failed terribly. Now he has lost his offensive on the walls. He's retreated or lost a lot of his units. He's now focusing on securing this area, killing this unit, securing the gate so he can get his units inside without using the towers. Smart move. Dave, on the other hand, is just sitting because there's not much he can do. He's bringing a spear band around, hopefully to reinforce this area. Still has this heroic rider sitting here. His general, which is a heroic noble. Interesting choice. These Briton slingers still have ammo? They have ammo? I don't see their slings out, so I don't think they have ammo. They might be out. What about these ones? Yeah, I don't see their slings out. They might be all out of ammo. But he has lined this area with units, not the best defensive positions or formations, but he's ready to take on Dema. And it looks like most of the losses here were on Dema's side. Oh, here we go. The Briton Scorpion crew that was over here got massacred. That's probably why Dema charged forward. He wanted to take out these Scorpions. Looks like he succeeded. I'm not seeing much dead Britons other than the Scorpions. If we come over here, maybe some spear units? I don't know who they came out of, but if anything, he lost some spear units over here. I'm not seeing any of these chosen sword bands' corpses here, so it looks like this was a very successful engagement for the Britons. Let's take a look over here now. I've commenced all my plans. Death Ninja is just sticking to the walls. He's captured this gate. He's now, one of my units over here has routed. This one is now all by itself, still just holding onto the wall. My plan that I'm succeeding in has just been to hold off, really. The longbow hunters are here with this tower now, just shooting into these Desert Legionnaires, which I'm fine with, you know. Let them expend as much of their ammo as they can. They'll be useless in melee. And the Bloodsworn right here are doing much better than my Desert Legionnaires. Some random Legionnaires that are shattered, just stuck right here. Otherwise, I'm just holding here in case when this unit dies, he tries to push down the walls. That's why I have these units here. That's why I have this cohort here and this cavalry unit, just in case. Looks like I've moved some tribal slingers, which I believe are out of ammo as well. I think we burned through most, if not all, of our ammo. Yeah, I've moved them over here to reinforce this defensive position in case he decides to come for it. I've set up a defensive, spear wall. This one's in formation. Look how tight it is. Right here. Nice. Yeah, that's real nice. That's real nice. Oh, man, look at that. That's so effective. I love it. They're ready to take arrow fire and to stop any charge. These are elite spearmen, by the way. And all he could really use to threaten is an almost dead unit of berserkers, 4 left, and a spear levy. Behind them is some armored desert cavalry ready to flank if he commits anything to the streets. Nothing's been committed to the streets, so I haven't gotten to use my cav, but if anything does, he has nothing to stop them, really. Still holding this defensive formation here. Where? Yes, this is the barricade that got trampled because I sent some units down this way. Oh yeah, there was a desert cohort back here that I had to send forward. Where is it? Did I commit it to battle? Oh, here it is. I used the cohort to block this off. I refrained from committing my elite cohorts to battle at this point in the battle. I'm mostly just holding my ground. Got another armored desert cavalry up here to defend these scorpions or take advantage of any weakness that happens here or any charge. Because I saw he left this open, I decided to put these here because a downhill charge on any kind of invaders would be brutal, even with these stone beds in the way. And I think he knows that. I think he's afraid of what we might have up here. This is why I also have these guys here. They're useful to come down here and to come around here. I think he's afraid of what's over there, so he's not committing, but he's captured the gates. Dema's getting all of his units in here now. The fighting has pretty much subsided with the exception of right here, which my units are just about dead. Oh, he's just charged in his units. Got a nice javelin throw in there. These units are just about done. They're about to rout, and there's not much that can be done to stop. We're about to lose these arrow towers, but this was okay. I allowed this. I accounted for it. I did not want to commit my cohorts for defending this corner of the wall that would gain the Swaby nothing. Death Ninja playing the Swaby gains nothing from owning this, except access to the city. And with that access to the city, there's not really much you can do. The cohorts are going to make this impossible to pass. The spearmen with the defenses, even these half-dead units over here. This would be the only place he could break through. But all of his units aren't near it. He'd have to send all his units down the wall. And even then, what's he going to do next? I can easily shift units over here to block this off. So my goal here was just to contain Death Ninja because I knew he couldn't do anything at this point in the battle. My big concern was over here. This cavalry hasn't been able to do much. What's he going to do? Charge these pikemen, these spearmen in the rear? That would be suicide, even if they're on the towers. At least, this is about half, if not a little more than half of Dema's army made it into the town, seemingly unscathed. This poor guy just got shot dead, some ex-British Scorpion units. And if we look at Dr. Dave's line compared to Dema's line is a lot stronger. So the Britons may have managed to inflict some damage by holding this gate, but it looks like they actually ended up losing a lot more. And the failure to set off more than just this brimstone pit is problematic for him, which is why I opted just to contain the Swaby where I could, because if the Swaby tried to fight me, they stood no chance. But if Macedon tries to fight the Britons, I'm not sure who's going to win, and my army might be needed elsewhere. As we see, we have some movements here. It looks like Dema's finally getting ready for an assault of some kind. I still don't agree with these defensive positions, but I mean, like, there should be a unit right here. But whatever, though. He is finally charging some units. He's charging militia hoplites down here. You should have put a swordsman here, really, but he's charging the militia hoplites down the wall, as we can see, and he's making a big charge down here as well. These units are turning around and coming into melee, getting their own charge bonus, and some pylons being thrown. Amazing. Up here, he's moving up with all his units. Oh, the slingers were not out of ammo. The slingers have opened fire. They're trying to tear down the stakes as they're going through. These are some archers that are out of ammo. He's using the archers to try to get rid of all the defenses, but they're taking major fire, major fire. The thorax swordsmen are already starting to rout. These guys were already damaged. These archers who are out of ammo charging headfirst into the chosen swordband, taking all kinds of fire. Look at this. All kinds of fire. And they're not going to stand much of a chance. But he's sent two of them up, I guess, as a bit of a distraction. Dave is finally moving up some units over here to this flank. The other archers are charging through, not even minding the caltrops. That's weird. I guess he doesn't have to worry about him. He doesn't have mounted units. But Dema is charging this entire force. He's committing everything to the more heavily fortified flank. He's not sending anything up here to the unfortified flank at all. And I even just... the desert cohort I had over here, I've now committed over here as a defensive. He's put nothing over here. He's actually leaving it undefended. He has his very heavy pike infantry going into melee combat, out of formation. Thorax swordsmen, everything is engaged. The heavy spears, all the swords. He's committed all of them at once in some giant mosh pit. And that's going to end up very, very badly for him. This is a terrible strategy, unfortunately. The more the pikemen are charging in and not even getting into formation. I don't know what he's trying to do here. His Royal Peltis General is moving up as well, and he's left this entire flank unprotected. Dave has put his only remaining cavalry, aside from this one, over here. He's sent this one over here, which is taking some arrow fire, and he's trying to destroy the gate. Now, I remember his plan was to send units up here and get him around and capture the gate. I think his micro is just elsewhere. If you take a look at Swaby, they're literally just sitting there, not doing anything, not helping their ally. Because at this point he knows he can't win against me. But if he distracted me, that would definitely help. He might see that sitting there is doing enough to distract me, but ironically I see sitting there and letting him sit there is doing enough to stop him from helping his ally. It's probably a weird combination of strategies where each side thinks they have the upper hand on the other. But yeah, Dema made a very bad move committing all these units. His Peltis are throwing their pylon overhead. As a result of this massive charge, Dave has committed almost all of his melee units into the front as well, although he doesn't have nearly as many. But when fighting a clogged up toilet of like enemy forces like this, there's not much to worry. Sorry. there's not much to worry about. These hoplites don't stand much of a chance against the chosen swordband at all. Just some spears on a wall versus elite swordsmen. This was a bad tactical error as well. The spears should be down here, if anything. He has pushed through the lines, and he's starting to kind of pincer? No, not pincer, but break through his units somehow. How is this? How are they? How is this happening? No, he didn't! Oh, Dema, you cheeky. He actually pulled the click-through bug, the pull-through bug, to get his militia hoplites through this heroic noble to try to take down his slingers. You cheeky son of a bitch. Using it. I bet that was accidental too. I bet he was freaking out. But yeah, that was an exploit that he used to charge through the heroic nobles to try to get the slingers, but it cost him a unit. It didn't work out so well. The line is reformed here. That's how they broke through. He was pulling an exploit. The riders finally got off their mounts. They've recaptured this gate, which is now firing arrows into the rear of the enemy units. He finally set up some pikemen into a formation, which is stopping these heroic riders from doing anything, which have also dismounted. They dismounted right before the stakes. I see. Interesting choice. I've set up my armored desert cavalry over here as a defensive. The others have gone over here as well, since I realized I didn't have to worry about Death Ninja, because he's just not going to fight me. He's just going to let Dema get swarmed and teamed by the rest of us. Since Death Ninja wasn't attacking, I basically told Dave, commit everything you have. I will take care of the defense. Which, as you see, I'm doing. I'm moving up some of my tribal slingers. I believe these guys may have ammo, even if they don't. These ones have ammo. I'm moving them up to actually try to get some slinger shots into this massive orgy of units. And I'm sending these Numidian noble spears that were originally placed here, over here as a defensive. They're going to be in a shield wall. Basically me telling him, don't worry about committing your general. I will keep this side defended. I've moved up the desert cohort from here to defend this. I completely abandoned this as well and kind of moved this back, putting less and less to deal with ninjas, just keeping the bare bones of what I need over here, and then some, to keep the capture point safe while I start committing units over here. I have this armored desert cavalry over here ready to go around if Dave's line should fall. Same thing over here. He is moving the Scorpions down. I don't even think they have ammo at this point. This side is well defended, but Dema has gotten himself surrounded. He's going to lose the wall. He's lost the gate. He's gotten himself completely surrounded. Left himself no other option. He should have gone for like a multi-pronged attack or gone exclusively up here. But now as a result, you know, you see he's starting to lose his units. You can see the chaotic fighting here taking place. See my units up on the hill. That looks so badass. Look at that. I don't think they're in formation just yet, but they're blocking it off, that's for sure. And now, right now, it's just a... Oh my god, did you see how far this unit rubber banded? This is Macedonian. That's Macedonian. It just rubber banded through the enemy lines. That's hilarious. But as you can see, it's not working out so well for Dema. Oh, here comes more units. Yes, I couldn't get a shot on his units very well from over here, I remember. So I've sent them over here, and I'm trying... Oh, here we go. Now I've gotten sight on some of them. His heroic nobles are throwing javelins. Here comes my slinger. My slingers are firing into the sides of these hoplites, doing whatever I can to help my ally without committing a major melee force, because, I mean, really, there's no room for it right now. These pikes are holding this flank, but they're just getting shot at by the tower, which is not optimal. And these guys are getting shot into their rear. The Chosen Swordband only lost 20 people. They've killed over 100. This battle is going very, very poorly for the attackers. Thorax Swordsman running away. The general is now committed into melee. The Royal Peltis, other Royal Peltis Thorax Swordsman in the front. One of the Iceni Chosen Swordbands has just routed. There's still some Spearband over here, not the best units. Dave has lost most of his forces over here. It's very close. I mean, Dema still has more melee units down here committed. Dave has more on the wall if he can get him down. If Dema broke through now, the Iceni would be slaughtered. What are you doing? Yeah, he's trying to charge through. He's really trying to charge. Look, he keeps doing it. He keeps giving them the order. He's actually... Wow! That's so rude. He just used the charge through exploit to disengage from combat and go around to engage these Briton slingers. Rather than just retreating them out, changing their formation and trying to break through that line, or even going over here where he had secured, he actually just fucking charged through exploited through the units. I didn't realize how much Dema actually did this exploit until watching this. That being said, the heroic nobles, the Britain general has committed to the fighting and sent back another Macedonian unit, Thorax Swordsman. It's now down to some Royal Peltas, the general, and this Thorax Swordsman, which are all like half dead. These heroic nobles are all on their way out, Druidic nobles, Britain slingers. He's charging in the general, doing whatever he can, as I'm letting him take care of most of his own fighting while I'm just supporting with slinger fire and protecting his flanks. I have brought my general up here to provide some rally bonuses and inspires to the Britain units to give them morale and damage bonuses. My armored desert cavalry are here. I brought them here as if to say, do it. Try to break through his lines. I dare you. It's just down to the general now. Foot companions, the walls have been completely lost by him. The chosen sword band are here charging in the foot companions with the pikes. They completely gave up their position. All these units are charging into the rear now, and all the Macedonian units have routed. Death Ninja has started, he tried moving his units around as if that was going to do something, but they would have had a long way to go before they could get anywhere. Realizing it's not going to do anything, he started moving them back, started moving all of his units back, centering everything around this gate. And it's pretty much just down to his units now. We only have 25 seconds left on the clock. And Dave, with this minimal support from me, I barely helped him. I defended some choke points so that he could commit more units. All I did was provide him with some, slinger fire support and some buffs from my general. I just covered him so he could do his own thing and provide him with minimal support. And he managed to pull out a victory in a losing situation, which was very impressive. Death Ninja ended up sitting around for about half the battle, didn't really help his ally. I don't know if they had some talks going on, like, here, wait for me to break through here, and then you do a charge. I didn't actually ask, but there's the fight. It was pretty long, it was pretty intense. Let's take a look over here at my army. My Legionnaire force was ravaged, but look, what is this? Like, a little more than a quarter of my army, or about a quarter of my army, yeah, being ravaged. Just a quarter, actually. If you combine the survivors, being ravaged but killing almost all of Death Ninja's army. Almost all of it, look. And stopping him from attacking beyond taking that one section of the wall. Very effective sacrificing of my, I believe these are tier 3 units. My desert cohorts never even had to see action. Not all these guys actually even died. There were several that were still alive. None of my 3 Numidian Noble Infantry Spearmen ever saw action. They held their defense positions, but because Death Ninja never charged, they never had to fight. And because Dema never broke through Dave's line, they never had to fight. I think their strategy, now that I think about it, was to wait till Dave was defeated and then team up against me. But because Dave wasn't defeated, that kind of fucked that up. These tribal slingers, I suicided them into melee after getting all their ammo expended. They did the best in terms of kills, but they also, died. My other slingers got a great amount of kills. These units cost 270 points each. They were dirt cheap. Absolutely garbage, trash tier ranged units. Dirt cheap. It's fine. The 3 Desert Cavalry also never saw any combat. After this battle, Dema actually told me, you see, this is why I don't bring any cavalry. Although the thing is, the only reason I never got to use these was because neither of them actually broke through our lines. So I never got a chance to. So that was an interesting perspective. I definitely wish I had traded up at least one of these for another infantry, or maybe another slinger or something. I might have been able to bring more elite infantry, maybe, if I did. Maybe. Probably. We take a look at Dr. Dave over here. His general, who barely lost anyone, got 111 kills. That's astounding. It was probably thanks to a lot of those javelins. The Briton Scorpion that got charged down barely did anything. But the other one got a decent amount of kills. I don't know if you could say it was worth it, but it was pretty nice. His Scout Riders ended up getting a good amount of kills charging into the flanks of that battle at the end. I don't even know how they got that much kills in that short of a time. His heroic riders, which dismounted, same thing, 101 kills, short period of time. All of his skirmishers, these are pretty good kill counts for such not elite units. This one died, of course. They were thrown into melee combat, I believe. His chosen sword band got amazing... Okay, these ones, maybe not as much, but like these ones got amazing kills. He lost almost all of them. There was only one left by the end of the battle. His druidic nobles, most of them seemed like a waste, except for this one right here did really well and didn't die. This heroic noble, oh my god, 529 kills. That's got to be the MVP of the battle right there in kills. How do you even pull that off? And it didn't die. Holy shit. And this one didn't do nearly as well, and it died. These spear bands, one didn't do so hot. One did pretty good for being a cheap unit. Take a look at Dema's statistics. Dema's units did well. They did really, really well because he had an amazing, advantage while taking the walls. Part of how well he did taking the walls came down to the fact that he used almost all of his ranged munitions between his peltists and his archers just taking the walls. After he got into the town is when his strategic blunders started, and then he died really quickly. And that's why his kills and losses look like this. But for the start of the battle, he was absolutely dominating Dr. Dave. Who knows that if his strategic choices were better, if he would have been hurt by how much ammo he expended. It's really interesting to think about. But otherwise, there's none of these units... There's few of these units I could say were used poorly. I think he's used his spearmen the worst because he used them as offensive units. That's not what they're there for. He used them to take walls. That's not what they're there for. And his pikes, he brought 3 different pike units, I believe. Or maybe 4? No, 1, 2. I'm only seeing 2 here, but I remember there being 3. There might have just been 2. He only ever put 1 in formation, and not for very long. He charged 1 into battle without even going into formation. They're not meant for that. At all. I could have sworn one of the hoplites had spears. Maybe I'm misremembering. But the pikes were poorly used. The pikes and the spears were terribly used. Everything else in his army was very well used. The range, though, I wonder what would have happened if he had conserved some of his ammo. Let's take a look at Death Ninja over here. Oh man, let me tell you, like I was saying, the berserkers are deadly. I had reason to fear them, and I did. And when they started getting on the walls, I knew it would be bad. It looks like he actually upgraded his berserkers, which is a very smart move. Although only one of his berserkers actually got MVP status worth of kills. The other 3 don't seem to have done that well. These 2 especially. This did all right. But these 2 seemed like they were wasted. Probably to my own slinger fire, for example. Or maybe they just... I don't know. But the Bloodsworn, of course, none of them stood out. Some of them held their own, especially with the support of berserkers. Got some good kills like this one. But none of them getting a 1-to-1 ratio. The Hexbearers were all awfully used. As you see, they barely got any kills. This Round Shield Swordsman, I remember this one at the start of the battle. Absolutely slaughtered. I believe it was this Berserker that came in afterwards with some Bloodsworn. Probably this one. And ended up dominating that part of the wall for a little while. The Spear Levies were also poorly used. I think he used them on the walls again. I don't understand why the both of them were putting spear units on the walls, but... Swordmasters, they didn't stand out. Again, they all died. They didn't get many kills, but that's just because of the full commitment to the walls and letting yourself get choke pointed is not an ideal strategy, but he tried to go with a very Total War Warhammer-esque style where you just commit everything at once because there's no choke points on the walls. You get one part of the wall secure, you can now charge down from the wall and then, not even charge, teleport down from the wall and then move into the city. It feels like that's what he tried to do here. I'm not sure though. But yeah, that was an amazing battle. I've been talking for almost an hour. I hope you guys found this interesting. I found this battle really interesting. If you'd like to join us in these battles or even talk about them, make sure to go into the description and click on the community server link. You can join it on your PC app, browser, mobile app, console browser, whatever you want. It's very accessible. We are playing Total War Warhammer and Rome 2 right now. Eventually we'll be moving on to Attila and everyone that released past this. And we'd love to have you join us. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.